What is up, everyone? I am Eric and you are watching Retro Video Game Pickups. In this video, we are going to talk about whether or not GameStop is dying. Spoiler alert, I think they are. So, let's check it out! Okay, so I'm gonna give you a few reasons why I think GameStop is dying, and honestly, it could be very much alive if they changed a few things, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So we are gonna talk about a few things and let you guys know kind of why I think GameStop is dying and what they could do to change that. Now, first off, I'm gonna reference something I've talked about on this channel before, and that is ThinkGeek. ThinkGeek is shutting down their website, which means all of that is going to GameStop, and that's kind of a bad thing for GameStop as a whole, because that means that all that stuff that they have that was online and all that stuff is now gonna maybe be funneled towards GameStop.com, but that means a lot of stuff that they could be doing right is also going away. I think ThinkGeek was a great store, a great online shopping experience, and was something that definitely made GameStop better and more enticing to stockholders and people like that, because, well, you got something extra that would also make you money and wasn't hurting you as much as the games. So I think with ThinkGeek going out or getting rid of the website and kind of bringing it more into the stores, I think that is something that is going to hurt GameStop in the long run. However, I think they could make this a good opportunity or a bad opportunity. Now, what I think they need to do is redirect all that traffic from ThinkGeek and somehow manage to get it onto GameStop. I think they need to redo GameStop's actual website, because if you redo that and make it more optimized towards some good things that ThinkGeek was doing and some of that money that you were really making over there, I think you can definitely step up your game on online sales. But while I'm saying that, I think they need to rethink that online sales together as one thing. So if I search for Pokemon, I should find games, I should find ThinkGeek stuff, I should find everything that they sell. Now, I also would love to see, for me to buy, say, a Pokemon Blue. If I go on there and look at Pokemon Blue, I want to see down below some Pokemon games that I could buy, but also down below that, some accessories that are actually from ThinkGeek that are Pokemon related. Throw up a Pikachu plush, throw up a sweater, throw up whatever you have that's Pokemon related, and give it another subsection down below with suggested items that aren't games. I think that could very well market or better sell things for GameStop.com. I also think what they could do is, once you get to checkout, if they bring you into checkout and you've got all games, and say you've got like Borderlands 2 and maybe like an Uncharted or something like that, maybe what they can do is say, hey, we've got a Nathan Drake statue. Here was that. Would you like to buy that for 10% less because you ordered Uncharted 2 or Uncharted, whatever I said? That could be very beneficial, because that 10% is minimal compared to how much those statues cost, and I think that would be something that I think would be a good way to upsell without necessarily overloading or kind of killing the vibe of that GameStop.com order. Which leads me to the stores. Now, here you are with a GameStop and you've got a bunch of cool stuff there. However, half the stuff is going to become a ThinkGeek store, if it's not already, which I think could hurt or possibly help GameStop depending on how you look at it. Now, the way I look at it is all those ThinkGeek stuff are towards the front of the store, and so I just ignore everything and walk back to the games. And so I think that's one thing they could really work on, is maybe like integrate them, have a game section, then have like plush section, then another game section, and then backpacks, and then another game section, and then shirts, or something like that, to kind of mixes it up that it's not just ThinkGeek, GameStop. And I think that's one thing that they're definitely have struggled with, is kind of integrating both of those together. Now, I will say ThinkGeek is a very good thing for GameStop, and I think it could very much broaden everything that they have, but they're just not utilizing it well, which is kind of a shame for them. So we're moving on to something I think is a big show that GameStop is failing or dying or whatever you want to call it, is their GameStop PowerUp Rewards card membership is kind of tanking. They got rid of the extra one, which was like the Elite Pro membership, which I actually had, and once it lost its time or expired, that's the right word, I just kind of moved on, and I actually didn't get a Pro membership until I had to come in and buy something that was well worth it. And so I found that to be kind of a pain because I couldn't order online without having that to get the discount, and I couldn't order it online, so I had to go into a store, and that was just a whole mess and a whole ordeal. But I think that they're trying out this new thing where you get $5 a month and you get a coupon code, but it gets you in the store longer, which then makes you hopefully spend more money, but honestly, it's just not worth it. They're also bumping it from $15 to $20 from what I've heard, which is yet another sign that they are struggling. Now, GameStop is okay in my opinion. In my area, it's not a bad place to get games if you don't know how to buy cheaply or how to kind of work the system and get better deals. GameStop is always down the road. You can always find one that has the game you're looking for if you want to pay retail for it. So GameStop is at least doing something right. In my area, they at least have a few locations that are very well because of kind of the way it's laid out. However, I definitely see a downfall with the Pro membership card just kind of being a failure or a flop. I know a lot of people aren't buying it as much. A lot of people just don't care. Like, it's $15, but it's also not worth it. So that is one thing that I think is definitely showing and telling that GameStop is failing when they're struggling with their PowerUp Rewards card. They had the Elite membership go away, then they're kind of switching it out, and I think that's going to be kind of another downfall. And that's one thing that I think they're hurting, is their core customers that are coming day in and day out, and honestly, it's just not benefiting them. Okay, so the last thing is pre-orders, and I'm going to talk about that just a little bit because I think this is where GameStop really fails. Well, I don't pre-order games, at least not for GameStop, because what happens is that $5 just doesn't really get me much. I don't get anything special when I put the $5 down. I tend to just not get anything good. And so whenever I pick up a game that I know is going to be at GameStop, I just pick it up the day of. I don't have to spend any money beforehand. I don't have to be out that money. Now, I don't have to be secure that I'm going to get that, but oftentimes there's like a Best Buy nearby, there is a Walmart, there's a Target, there's a GameStop, there's a Vintage Stock, which is kind of a regional game store. All of those are within a mile, maybe half a mile of each other. So that's never a problem picking up games that are just released. Now, what I would love GameStop to do with their pre-orders is give me a reason to come to GameStop to pre-order. I know that I can go in and pick up those games day of and have no problem. But if I can come in day of and get something cool, like the Super Mario Maker 2 that's coming out, Nintendo is doing, maybe not as just Nintendo, but Target has this lunch pail that comes with it. You get a free lunch pail with the game, and like, GameStop doesn't do any of that. GameStop might do some in-game stuff, but it's never well worth it. So I definitely think pre-orders is another place that GameStop is really failing themselves, because they push it so hard and it kind of pushes people away like myself. But then on the day everything comes out, I just walk in and say, hey, I want this game, and they're like, would you think about pre-ordering? And I'm like, why? I literally walked in and you had the game I want. I've never had a problem picking up a game the day of, and so I just find it being problematic for GameStop to have those pre-orders that don't really even get you anything. Okay, so that was kind of my thought about why GameStop is dying. Now, there are a ton of other reasons, and I know that they could do stuff to get better and not have this problem, but it seems like they're just kind of going by the wayside. They're not really trying. They've kind of given up in my mind, and that's kind of sucks for gaming for sure. But I think they could do a few minor tweaks and kind of turn it around for themselves. So with that being said, I want to know what you guys think. Comment down below and let me know what you think about GameStop and how they could keep from failing. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification because it lets you know when I post more videos, which is almost every day. So with that being said, I want to say one more time, thank you so much for watching and make sure you have a good day.